Hello, good evening, everybody. How is everybody this evening? I'm here to welcome you to the 2011 Calgary International Spoken Word Festival. Have you been festivaling so far? We're on day 3. That deserves applause. Come on. It's a festival. It's exciting. It's fun. Perfect. So tonight's event, we're on event number 3, is Extrasensory In-vox-ication, a magical mix of poetry and music this evening. My name's Danielle French, and I will be your delicious MC for the evening. Thank you. I do recognize quite a few friendly faces in the audience tonight, but for those of you who don't know who I am, I'm a local singer-songwriter from Calgary, Alberta, and a budding filmmaker as well. And Sherry D. Wilson graced me with her presence on my latest short film, To the Death, which I'm very excited to announce is going to be having its world premiere next weekend at the on-location Memphis International Film and Music Festival. So I'm going to Graceland next week. I'm very excited. Thank you. And thanks to Sherry D. for helping me out on that film and for inviting me tonight to be part of this event. But this event is by far about me. This is about spoken word, and we have 5 amazing spoken word artists here tonight, and they're from across Canada. But a few housekeeping notes to start. As always, a reminder to turn off everything that beeps, cell phones, watches, robots you might have brought with you, that sort of thing. I can see everyone's getting into their bags. That's a good thing. Vibrating is okay. Actually, it's quite good. It's either, in the Auburn, keep it discreet, but, feel free to bring those devices home with you tonight, whatever works for you. Tweeting is also highly recommended. It's very excellent. You can follow along, actually, in our live conversation by checking out our CISWF Twitter account, which is at the @ that we all know so well now, at CISWF. And if you're playing along, please use the hashtag, the #CISWF, and that way you can tag your tweets as well. So without further ado, I'd love to introduce to you the artistic director of the Calgary International Spoken Word Festival, the one and only Sherry D. Wilson.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. And isn't it great that spring has sprung in time for the festival? Let's hear for spring! Oh, my gosh. There's many things to tell you about. We're launching the Spoken Word Workbook. I didn't bring a copy with me. I'll get her to bring one up. Let's hear for Danielle French. Oh my gosh. And I'll have Danielle bring a copy of the book up and show you. There's 27 artists in it from all over North America. It is the go-to for spoken word if you're interested in performing. It's $20, and for that $20, you get a year on the interactive website, which will be launched at the end of April. It's going to have pop-ups and all sorts of sexy, wonderful, and fabulous electronic madnesses. So please take a look at that book outside. It's well worth the pleasure. I'd like to thank the Auburn. Let's hear for the Auburn and Jesse and the gang. I'd like to thank the Banff Centre, Calgary Public Library, Frontenac House, Hotel Arts, Pro Arts Society, and the Writers Guild of Alberta, the Alberta Creative Development Initiative, Alberta Lottery Fund, Alberta Foundation for the Arts, Calgary Arts Development Authority, Calgary Foundation, Canada Council for the Arts, Community Spirit, Department of Heritage Canada, and the League of Canadian Poets. Let's hear it for our funding bodies. This festival would not be possible without all of the great people that come together to do this, and there's a lot of us. And it's a huge community now, and we are a force to be reckoned with. We are the alternative voice, and I would like to thank all of the community supporters, our media supporters, CGSW, CKUA, and Fast Forward, Cafe Beano, Canada Safeway, Peace Blossoms for these stunning flowers, Kensington Wine Market for the booze, Steam Whistle Brewing, Alberta Theatre Projects, Calgary Culture, Calgary Public Library, Fairy Tales, Gay Calgary, and Yelp Web Marketing. The Board of Directors, Lindsay Bell, Anne Sorby, Tom Wayman and Edward Washington, and the festival team. Taryn Craig, where are you, Taryn Craig? The beautiful Taryn Craig, where are you? She's running around. There she is. Wave at everybody. Jess Hagel, she's also outside. Jess, make an entrance. Jess Hagel! Colette McTaggart, give a wave, Colette McTaggart. Rose Brow, Mike Roberts, who is filming, and I might add, if you need to stay home in your pajamas one night, you want to come to the festival, we know it's packed, you can watch the whole event on our website, like on TV, like at your desk, like with a drink in your pajamas. And Rod Coates, let's give it for Rod Coates, who helped organize that. Phil Leismer on box office, Peter Mahler, our designer, and DJ Sublight, who will be down here this weekend. The whole festival is going to be a crazy rip-snorting time, so please feel free to come to more events and hear great poetry. I'd like to thank it for all the volunteers that made this possible, and all of the artists who are here from all over the world to present great words and poetry that Calgary loves. So let's hear it for everyone. And let's get on with some poetry.
Sherry D. Wilson, everyone, and just in case you hadn't put that together yet. Okay, so tonight we actually have a percussionist who's going to be helping out. Brent Van Dusen. Is he in the house? Brent and I have known each other for about 22 years. I was a percussion major in university, and he was my TA. So I love that we still keep running into each other year after year at various events. So this is really great. And I'll let you know the order of events for the evening. We have 5 spoken word artists for you tonight. We will have a little intermission in the middle. So the first 3 artists will be Louise Bernice, half Sky Dancer. Got that one from Saskatoon. And then Tyler Perry, right here from Calgary. Tonya Davis from Halifax. Then we'll have an intermission. Then Ian Ferrier from Montreal. And finally, Robert Priest from Toronto. So, to introduce then, Louise Bernice, half Sky Dancer from Saskatoon. And she did inform me that she regrets that she does have to take off immediately after her performance, as she has to catch a flight. So she's certainly not being rude, but has to duck out immediately after her performance. Louise Bernice, half Sky Dancer, was raised on the reserve in Saddle Lake, although not exclusively. Beyond her family's control, Louise and her siblings were transferred from home to residential school. And I know that's an issue we've been hearing a lot about lately, so this is someone who's experienced that firsthand. Louise is married and has 2 adult children and 2 grandsons who are with her tonight. Very exciting. She graduated with a Bachelor of Social Work and has a subspecialty in addictions counseling, and she's also a facilitator. She served as Saskatchewan's Poet Laureate for 2 years and has traveled extensively throughout Canada, the Northwest Territories, and abroad, and has served as a keynote speaker at numerous conferences. Her books, Bare Bones and Feathers, Blue Marrow, and The Crooked Good, published by Cockatoo Publishers, have all received numerous nominations and awards, including the Governor General's Award, Spirit of Saskatchewan Award, Saskatchewan First Book Award, Gerald Lambert Award, and the Pat Lother First Book Award. That's a lot of awards. I'm looking forward to hearing Louise. Welcome to the stage.
I hope I don't ruin your stuff. Hi, tan satoja. Kenaskum nawao petavute kanotska tipskag bentonen mioeten. Ai. I just made you uncomfortable. No, I always speak my language first, which is Korean. It's really a polite way of saying I was here first. But anyway, I want to thank Sherry D. She's such a wonderful person and organizer. I have great admiration and love for her. So thank you, Sherry D. And I want to dedicate the reading tonight to my favorite grandsons, my only grandchildren. They're right here with me tonight. They're my heroes. So thank you so much for being here tonight. And essentially, that's what I said. And I do apologize for missing you're reading Ian and to, where's he, Robert Priest, I know those two, and I'm so sorry I can't stay. I do have to fly out today. I'm on my way to China, so it's one thing after another. Anyway, here we go. And it's an epic poem based on a childhood legend of the rolling head. And essentially, the crooked good has to be read from front to back. So here we go. Okay. The end and the beginning. I made a trip across the largest lake I've ever seen, to where the long noses live. There on a hill, boulders sat in a talking circle. I rocked around and gave tobacco. They squeezed their stone-ground hands on my chest as I choked to a decision I had made. My beloved held me. Though I never spoke of it, somewhere in his secret lair he knew. I've sat with Rib Woman since Atayugan became Big Thunder and her big heavens awoken us. Many of us have. Some of us never understand. Some of us have learned to incubate, hatch these million eyes, these million ears, these million noses, these ancient roots that stem through our bodies. It is these sun runners who go deep in the dwelling. Perhaps I am one of them. Egweski, turnaround woman, is the narrator. When I was growing up in a bush on a hillside, I watched the sun arrive from the dark, watched her slip into the dark. I traveled. I didn't know the world back then. I just traveled. I was afraid I would never return. I tumbled that hillside back into myself. You can tell me after you hear this story if my name suits me. I've yet to figure it out. In Rib Woman, stories are born. The old man called it psychology. Me, I just dream it. These gifted, mysterious people of long ago. Kaya seki matausitik inuak. My mother, a spin, gone for good, would say. They never died. They are scattered here, there, everywhere, somewhere. They know the language, the sleep, the dream, the laws, these singers, these healers, Atayukanak, these ancient story keepers. I turn around, am not one of them. I was taught by old people, an Indian man, a white man, an Indian woman, a white woman. They worked in layers in the full veins of Rib Woman. I sat in their thicket wailing. The old ones navigated through my dreams. Sometimes they dragged, scolded, cajoled, cheered, and celebrated. I wanted to be with them, like them. I am not a saint. I am a crooked good. My cousin said I was easy, therefore I've never been a maiden. I am 70, but still I carry my sins. Brothers-in-law I meet for the first time, wipe their hands as if I'm still among the maggots. I didn't know their women wept when their men slept in my bed. I am not a saint. I married Abel, a wide green-eyed man, 50 years now. Inside Rib Woman, I shook hands with Promise. Promise never forgot, trailed me year after year. His big heavens, a morning lake, drowns me in my lair. I learned how to build Rib Woman, one willow at a time, one skin at a time. I am only half done. This is part of the story. I, Egweski, am a dreamer. I dream awake, asleep, on paper. The old man set the universe. The day was the story. So, every day I am born. The old white man taught me to unfold night visits, The old woman taught me all of it was real. The old white woman helped me to cry with the thunder. Outside my window stands a rust orange needle tree. Beneath it is a pine, branches with thick spikes. They stand aloof, sure-footed. On my bed lies 3 binders, bellies ink-filled. They wait. My stomach talks. I am hungry for voice, though I live in terror. Unsure what shape will arrive. Voices and thought, a wish, a desire, a dream, a vision. Fingers cannot catch their passing, invisible little people. I am deaf, though my ears strains. Perhaps it is a crazed beast that buys a 2-bit Stetson at a garage sale. But it's just a spin, gone for good, though she is anything but gone. A spin wears Tams, a kerchief now and then, a loose sweater, a V-neck dress whose waist is directly below her breasts. She sews her dresses same shape if fat layers or hunger arrives. Garters hold up thick stockings or cut off ribbed socks at her ankles and moccasin rubbers. Her money stashed in small purses. She says she is always broke. Then she flashes her bank book. Gone for good, buys our strawberries, lures us with money and spits out to watch the dog fight. But I, Ekwiski, am ahead of my story. I am hailing mountains, voices skate, flow beneath ice shelves, grope through cracks to catch each breath, freeze the voice to itself, a duck splayed in ice still flying, its voice racing beneath slivers. Voices from nose-blowing ravens, they grind sputum beneath their heels, curious beady heavens crane, peer. Female voices, male. My husband's voice whines, wraps around my body, deeply patient, fevered, his slender mouth a O of wet kisses. His voice a prayer lifting off a lake, broad as a tree trunk, moves as an infant finger. He is wood smoke, grass-fired soot, grapefruit, a writing paper, a song in the sweat lodge, a stake in rib woman. I build this story like my lair, one willow a rib at a time, bend it into my hip, ground into earth. I walked the forest, hitchhiking seeds clung to my socks, hopped into my pant cuff, bedded into the swollen lips of my boots. I walked slow, held a bucksaw, an axe, bled the willows, draped skins, hide blankets, tarps over their crippled bodies. This book took shape. In this lair I lived in darkness, dug a pit, heated the grandfathers till they sweated. Dreams dripped from my breasts, from my many lips. Have I told you where I grew up? On a reserve, in a clearing. A reserve called Uitagusagaitan. There they burned the flesh eater on ice. That is another story. We were divided by creeks, many hills, cabins ruled by men, a spin in the rest of the wives kept woman. Even Nukumak. We competed with one another, stole, shunned one another, everyday events. We were all saints. A spin, gone for good, the cream butter belly, the fat eater lived when travel was horse and wagon. She stayed in a Ukrainian farmer's granary until Wapistiguan built her a log cabin. They owned a pickup truck. She never learned how to drive. They drove to Manawans, where cowboys and Indians gathered, to town, to residential school to visit us. They stooped, picked rocks and roots, shoveled manure, worked in sugar beet fields, janitored in sick buildings. They drifted woods, mountains, back to Itagusagaykan. 3-person, maganak, uspagan, I, ekweski, wapan. We inherited laughter, mule skulls, working hands. None escaped bakakus. We traveled on brooms, jalopies, luxury cars, ships, airplanes, trains. We covered great distances. We all had loves, secret loves, snake-tongue lovers. A spin believed in medicines. 3-person and mechanic were like her. My medicine came from the old men, the old women. I have no roots, no herbs, just dreams. No one escaped us. No one expected us, the brown skins, to get anywhere, especially us womans. On the 27th of April, 1639, Father Francis du Person wrote, "All their actions, my savages, are dictated to them directly by the devil who speaks to them, now in a form of a crow or some similar bird, now in a form of a flame or a ghost, and all this in dreams. They consider the dream as master of their lives. It is the god of this country. It is which dictates them their feasts, their hunting, their fishing, their war, their trade with the French, their remedies, their dances, their games, their songs, their loves. To cure a sick person, they summon the sorcerer, who, without acquainting himself with the disease of the patient, sings and shakes his tortoise shell. He gazes into the water and sometimes into the fire to discover the nature of the disease. They believe in the mortality of the soul, which they believe to be corporal, and they make no mention of either punishment or reward. In the places where souls go after death, so they do not make any distinction between the good and the bad, the virtuous and the vicious, and they honor equally the interment of both. And so, a spin, gone for good, 3-person, makanak, wapan, and I, ekweski, lived, shared a story, sang into the darkness. First sound. I listened to my breath, dragged the sound deep from my belly, held it. When rolling head surfaced, she lounged, let out a huge I thought of a man in a wheelchair, mauve crocus on the side of his head. He filled the whole mall. Beloved, sweet, the echo of my breath. Are you making fun of me? He asked. I'm having my own. As we came, miigwech all my relations say hi.
Thank you so much, Louise. That was gorgeous. Have a great flight to China. Wow, you're going to be up all night. So again, Louise Bernice Half, sky dancer. We can have one more round of applause as she runs for her flight. So we can let her know how much we appreciated having her here tonight. Thank you. Our next spoken word artist is Tyler Perry from Calgary. Also goes by T.B. Perry. He's a poet and a teacher and was captain of the Calgary Poetry Slam team in 2010. He's been teaching junior high in Calgary for 5 years and finds that his work supplies him with a lot of steady inspiration for his poetry. His debut book of poetry is called Lessons in Falling, published by B House Publications right here in Calgary. And it's a poetic exploration of the remarkably complex world that goes on in schools today. In his poetry, he provides a candid insider's view of the classrooms, hallways, and staff rooms of contemporary schools. Sounds like an interesting form of inspiration. I'm curious to hear what he has. You can also visit him on the web at tbperry.com, and that's Perry. TB, are you in the house? Let's welcome to the stage DB Perry, please.
Thank you. It's great to be here. Thanks to Sherry D and the Spoken Word Society for having this wonderful festival. I've got a lot to read today, so I might as well just get started. I will be reading from my book, Lessons in Falling, which is poems based on my work as a teacher. But first I thought I'd start with a bit of a story that we might be a little bit more familiar with. It's a take on a fairy tale, actually. I've always enjoyed fairy tales, but there's one in particular that kind of has always bothered me. And I think it's more our modern spin on the fairy tale that bothers me. It's Goldilocks and the Three Bears. And it always bothered me in the new tellings of it that she always seems to get away in the end. I think in the original version she was eaten by the bears, which, yeah, I liked that ending. But the version I always heard was, she got away. And a lot of people seem to be happy for her, but I always just wonder, what about those bears? What was their life like afterwards? So this poem is called When Things Cool Down. It's been a while since the bears have had a good bowl of porridge. Breakfast is usually cold cereal now with berries, eaten hastily. The only sounds are the scrape of chairs against the wooden floor, the clack of spoons against milk-filled porcelain, the slurp and crunch of mouths too full of food to talk. They don't stray far from home much anymore. Their morning strolls are shorter and less frequent. Baby Bear has taken to cowering in the bushes that line the yard. Papa Bear plods down to the nearest oak and rubs his back against it, while Mama Bear paces in front of the cottage doorway, pausing frequently to sniff the air and listen. Papa Bear stopped telling his stories in the sitting room before bedtime. Now Mama and Baby just sit and watch him glower into the flickering shadows that leap from the fireplace, his eyes wide and glazed over, claws digging into the chair's armrests. He startles easily when Mama reaches a soft paw out to stroke his fur, recoils and bares his teeth before shaking off the fear. Baby Bear's chair doesn't rock as smoothly as before. Despite Mama's attempts to mend it, the rocker clacks when he leans back now, slow and rhythmic, like the light footsteps of human shoes. Baby Bear hasn't slept through the night in weeks. He keeps seeing shapes in the shadows, shapes that carve themselves into the moonlight. A pleated dress and those tight blonde curls, coiled and ready to spring. Tonight he crawls in beside Papa, since his bed is big enough, while Mama Bear stares at the ceiling and wonders how long it will take for their lives to return to normal. She caught that familiar scent in the wind this morning. The girl with the golden locks had been near again. Papa hadn't noticed, and neither had Baby. Mama didn't say anything about it to either of them. Now, lying in bed, Mama makes up her mind. She and her family are not going to live in fear any longer. Tomorrow she will get up early and make a big, fresh pot of porridge. She will make it piping hot and serve up 3 heaping portions. And while her husband and child sleep soundly upstairs and the porridge cools in the morning air, she is going to go for a walk. She is going to follow the scent of the golden-haired girl and sink her teeth into her family's fear once and for all. And when she comes back, her family will be awake, and the porridge will be cool. They will eat their breakfast calmly and engage in soothing conversation. And God damn it, everything is going to be just right. Thank you. Now, William Carlos Williams, he said once that in the schools there's a poem a minute going on in schools, and I think that's true. There's at least a poem a minute going on in schools today, and a lot of different stories going on. And in my book, I try to follow a couple of different characters a little bit throughout, but you find in schools there's just so many overlapping and interweaving stories that it's almost impossible to follow all of them. But here's a bit of one. It's about a boy who gets a birthday gift. It's called A Small Gift. On his 12th birthday, he is given a Swiss Army knife. A tradition in their family, a family raised as Boy Scouts, campers, and hunters. By this age, he's considered mature enough to use one responsibly. It is not to leave the house, except on camping trips. He holds the red plastic handle in his palm, unfolds each tool individually. A pair of scissors, a toothpick, tweezers, a can opener, a corkscrew, a smaller blade, a larger blade. He looks for things to carve. His initials mark the tree in the backyard. Pointy sticks litter the porch. His younger sister in grade 5 is jealous. He fashions a small doll for her from a piece of old hockey stick, which she loves. His parents say goodnight and tuck him in. Dad glances at the knife on the dresser. Keep it somewhere safe. Sure, Dad. The sound of the door closing and muffled conversation comforts him. He walks to his dresser, looks at his 12-year-old face in the mirror, picks up the knife, and slips it into his backpack. The next story, or the next poem, I should say, is about another character whose their paths cross eventually. But this one, I find, especially in junior high, I teach junior high, students can often be identified by the clothing they wear. Some students, they just wear the same jacket every day, whether it's summertime, wintertime, morning, afternoon, they just keep wearing it. And sometimes they have a pair of boots that seems to define them more than anything else. And this poem is called Boots. The boots are angry today. They were violated this morning by dirty, sock-shrouded feet in a hurry to get out. They were dunked into puddles, shoved between closing C-train doors, plopped on the seat and crammed into a corner. Their laces hang like strings of drool as they lumber through the parking lot, past the bike rack and slam against the locked door to have it opened and avoid the late slip. Squeaking, they stomp down the hallway, grind into the floor in front of the locker, their cracked soles creaking. In the classroom, they press against the legs of the desk in front of them and scowl. The boots are angry today. They are angry and looking for someone to punish. All right. Oh, thank you. And this is a later poem. It comes much later in the book, and it's kind of where these two characters' paths cross, almost. It's called Show and Tell. Show and Tell, sorry. The pocket knife tucked in his jacket. A friend from outside is curled up and waiting for its moment to shine, to glimmer, to show these fools what cool really is. He feels the metallic lump thud against his thigh as he steps off the bus, feels the cold weight lopsiding his jacket that slides off his shoulders, hears the muffled thunk when the unusually heavy pocket bounces off the back of his locker. The knife sticks in his mind all morning, folded away but emitting an alluring call. He fidgets all through homeroom and math class, wonders if the principal is opening his locker right now. At locker break, he reaches in past his granola bar to touch the plastic and steel and feel calm. In language arts class, he sits placidly and imagines himself the protagonist in a story yet untold. At lunch, he shows some other boys behind the dumpster. Gets mixed reactions, not what he expected. In the afternoon, he brings it with him. Uses it to carve fuck into a desk. Feels pride in not getting caught. He goes to a bathroom stall to open the shimmering blade. Looks around but sees no soft surface to carve. Looks at the toilet, glistening porcelain, hard plastic, cinder block wall, metal partitions. The sharp blade shrieks along the metal. An icy chill ripples beneath his skin. He freezes when he hears the thump, thump of angry boots on the bathroom tile. Thank you. And I am going to finish this set with a poem that you might have heard before, but I've never done it with a percussionist. It's the one poem in which I try to cram everything about my job into one poem. So it's called I Don't Teach Subjects, I Teach Students. I don't teach subjects, I teach students. I don't teach students, I teach Xbox. I teach iPod and Halo and MP3. I teach rock bands and breakdancers, newbies and posers. I teach Twitter and Facebook and online bullying. I teach the narrow line between slipshod parenting and overbearing media pet strings. I teach down the aisle of a test score supermarket. I teach Justin Bieber and Hannah Montana and Saw 1 through 5. I teach the gay kid raised atheist and sent to a Catholic school, and the angry black-haired white chick with the knee-high shit kickers and a home-pierced beauty mark stud that looks infected. I teach family life and human sexuality to kids who stay up till 3 watching free clips of internet porn on their flash media players. I teach the loud and the boisterous and the timid and the angry and the giddy and the waiting for something meaningful just to tap me on the shoulder. I teach test taking and desk sitting and holding it till the bell rings. I teach bundles of insecurity and helplessness wrapped in grape-scented lip gloss with glitter. I teach giggles and taunting and text message flirting. I teach body odor and boners and pants put on backwards by accident. I teach digital smartboard PowerPoint presentations and chewing the inside of your cheek just to bite back the sobs. I teach the kid whose parents just don't know what to do anymore. I teach the kid with a 93 and the kid with a 39. I teach emails and phone calls and missing assignments. I teach mohawks and cut marks and brothers with cancer. I teach Band-Aids. I teach chewed up pencils and Red Bull and Jolt. I teach in a vacuum that sucked up everything good and pure about being human and sat it in desks right in front of me. I teach the treasures of our future and the most significant beings in existence. I teach beauty and hope and something so perfect it can't be contained. I teach life in a whirlwind that would go on without me. I teach nothing. I teach speechless at the front of a boiling sea of rage and discontent that's shrouded in a mist of indifference. I teach hate. I teach love. I teach faith. I teach the 10 Commandments and the Golden Rule. I teach fear and guilt and forgiveness. I teach control. I teach worth. I teach effort and marks and report cards. I teach subjects. Thank you.
Oh, keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. From his vantage point as a junior high school teacher inspiring his poetry. That was amazing. Calgary's own T.B. Perry. Thank you so much. Well, we're going to hop across the country now. We have a Halifax spoken word artist with us tonight. Very exciting. Tonya Davis from Halifax, as I just mentioned, with her recent success with her video poem, How to Be Alone, which I believe you can look up on YouTube. She affirms her well-earned place in the ranks of thoughtful and hard-working Canadian artists. She's a musician and a poet. She released her first record, Make a List, in 2006 upon relocating to the East Coast. 2 more records followed that, along with awards, nominations, collaborations with peers in both live settings and on recordings, and various commissions by the likes of CBC Radio and the 2011 Canada Games. Her first book, At First Lonely, will be published in June 2011, just a few months from now, by Acorn Press. Perhaps if you're interested in a pre-sale, we can talk to Tonya afterwards. In any case, let's bring her up to... Thanks, Tonya.
Hi, Calgary. It's good to be here. It's spring. I was prepared to be freezing cold and for me to feel like a wimpy East Coaster. But today I was just the overdressed person. I'm just going to do a poem first that will tell you a little bit about myself. Subtlety was never my specialty. And so, without much thought to consequence, I showed my heart and soul to many. I left little guessing I was that book lying open in full view, unprotected. Some people told me I should close it up. At least choose more carefully which pages to show, maybe don't expose so much. Apparently, there is an appropriate amount of sharing and I overdo it. People are only comfortable up to a certain point and yet I go right through it. Well, maybe I missed the training. That day they went over closed book and open book and how much was too much information. Or else I was there but the lesson must have lost me. Because I thought its elements were slightly off and how could they possibly be the same for us all? These days I am trying to find a fine balance with this. Give people a view of my sincere self while keeping some things concealed within. Because I was told that I should. And I'm curious to see what it might get me, and I'm hoping it could be something good. Like improved defenses. Or a heart less tormented. Because if I didn't let as many people in it to begin with, I would be less likely to be injured when I left it. If I could be more subtle, no one would know when I was broken. As it stands right now, though, I tend to break right open. Spill out over coffee shop tables and try not to be noticed by the other patrons because people don't like to see random strangers crying. It makes them anxious. If I could be more subtle, I wouldn't make anybody anxious. I wouldn't make them order their coffees to take away because they were afraid if they got them to stay, I would ask to borrow their hankies. Now, I would be normal, meaning discreet, and this could be sort of amazing. But subtlety was never my specialty, and so maybe it's going to be hard to suddenly start changing, holding people away, knowing when to keep them out and when to bring them close and how to differentiate. Anyway, I want people to know me. That means the whole me, the true soul in me, all the many parts of me, the fragile and the tortured and the happy human heart in me. And so subtlety is just never going to be my specialty. So I play songs too. I'm going to play a couple poem songs. A couple of years ago I called these pongs. You can call them soems, whatever. I find it hard to differentiate sometimes. Poem songs. This is from my last record, not the one I just put out. They're both out there on a table, available for purchase. But this one, it's about religious tolerance. You guys have that out here? Give us this day our daily baked good. Whatever it is that makes us feel good. If you kneel to pray on slats of wood, and I'll walk streets at break of day to see what I could, is this not the same so long as we all worship as we should? Give me the earth and all of her daughters. You can have yours, your son and his father. I'll worship my idols. You burn candles at your altar, and we'll all get along just like our gods wanted. Give me some wine, sure, but I'll take mine chilled. And I'll try not to get too drunk on your hymn book spill. I'll sing your songs for the harmonies and the thrill. This building with its organ and this congregation's will, lilting voices in the rafters they fill. Give us this day and pray if you want to. To each our own way, that is all that I want from you. Give me the peace that you are all dying to have. I will give you respect. I will expect it back. Oh. Thank you. Thanks a lot to Sherry D and all the team here that brought me all the way from Halifax. It's really awesome to get to come here. And I'm staying in a nice hotel. I got there today and there were magazines about food, so I was hungry. So I sat and read my magazine about where to eat in Calgary for like 2 hours. And then I couldn't decide where to eat and I had a low blood sugar moment. Anyway, I had a good day. This is a song from my latest record. I wrote it after I had an unsuccessful conversation with my mother about my desired funeral arrangements. And I don't want you to bury me. Please say that you won't, even though that makes you sad. Spread my ashes, don't bury me. Throw me to the wind, it's where I wanna be. Cars in a solemn line down a long dirt road. Let the trees see you cry, then let me go. Don't mind if you pray for me to whomever you like, whatever deity. But don't take me to a funeral parlor. I do not like the atmosphere. I wouldn't want to say goodbye there. Placing sad songs on weeping strings. Gather up at my house, take all my things. Send me off with a mighty feast. And remember, don't bury me. bring a church organ? It's your solo right now. I don't want you to bury me. Please say that you won't, 'cause that would make me sad. Thank you. Okay, this is fun. Yeah. I have so much bambling I could do, but I only have 15 minutes, so shh, Tanya, stop talking. This is a song about art. It's called Art. It's on my last record. My friend Andrea Dorfman, who actually made the video for How to Be Alone, she also did a really cute animation to this. You can YouTube it. My mom, when she heard this song, she said, "Tanya, who's Art?" She was very hopeful. I said, "Don't worry. He's not like a really trustworthy accountant or something. It's just this unreliable career path I'm following." It's okay, Mom. I wondered what would be the worth of my words in the world. If I write them and then recite them, are they worth being heard? Just because I like them, does that mean that I should mic them and see what might unfurl? And I think of the significance of my opinions here. Is it significant to be giving them? Does anybody care? Just because I'm into this, does that mean that I should live like it? And really, do I dare? Art, art, I want you. Art, you make it pretty hard not to. My heart is trying hard here to follow you, but I can't always tell if I ought to. So I pondered the points of my art in this life. If I make it, will someone take it and think that it's genuine? Would they be glad that I did, 'cause they got something good out of it? Would they leave me and be any more inspired? And I question the outcome of the outpouring of myself. If I tell everyone my stories, would this keep me healthy and well? Would it give me purpose and to the world some sort of service? Is it worth it? How could I tell? Keep meaning to learn a really fancy guitar solo here. Art, art, I want you. Art, you make it pretty hard not to. My heart is trying hard here to follow you, but I can't always tell if I ought to. Art, art, I want you. Art, you make it pretty hard not to. And my heart is trying hard here to follow you, but I can't always tell if I ought to. Thank you. How about this guy? I'm just going to do a poem to end it. Yeah. So I just have one more piece for you guys. And thanks again for listening and being awesome. I hope to tour back to Calgary another time. It's far away from where I live, but I just came back actually from a tour, and we drove across the prairies like about a month ago. It's weird that I'm back here already, considering I haven't been here for like 5 years. But anyway, so I'm going to do this poem that's about being alone. I spend a lot of time alone. I like being alone, but I also like people. I feel like if I spend a lot of time alone, then I'm better with people later. So for those of you who haven't seen this video, it's on the internet. It's called How to Be Alone, and you can YouTube it. Isn't it cool that when did YouTube become a verb? I don't know. Anyway, thanks a lot for listening, and thanks again to the festival for having me and this place for having us. If you are at first lonely, be patient. If you've not been alone much, or if when you were, you weren't okay with it, just wait. You'll find it's fine to be alone once you're embracing it. Start with the acceptable places, the bathroom, the coffee shop, the library, where you can stall and read the paper, where you can get your caffeine fix and sit and stay there, where you can browse the stacks and smell the books. You're not supposed to talk much anyway, so it's safe there. There's also the gym. If you're shy, you can hang out with yourself in mirrors. You can put headphones in. And there's public transportation because we all got to go places. And there's prayer and meditation. No one will think less if you're hanging with your breath, seeking peace and salvation. Start simple. Things you may have previously avoided based on your avoid being alone principles. The lunch counter, where you will be surrounded by chow downers, employees that only have an hour and their spouses work across town, and so they, like you, will be alone. Resist the urge to hang out with your cell phone. When you are comfortable with eat lunch and run, take yourself out for dinner. A restaurant with linen and silverware. You're no less intriguing a person when you're eating solo desserts and cleaning the whipped cream from the dish with your finger. In fact, some people at full tables will wish they were where you were. Go to the movies, where it is dark and soothing, alone in your seat amidst a fleeting community. And then take yourself out dancing, to a club where no one knows you. Stand on the outside of the floor until the lights convince you more and more and the music shows you. Dance like no one's watching, because they're probably not. And if it is, assume it is with best and human intentions. The way bodies move to beats is, after all, gorgeous and affecting. Dance until you're sweating, and beads of perspiration remind you of life's best things, down your back like a brook of blessings. Go to the woods alone. Trees and squirrels will watch for you. Roam an unfamiliar city. There are always statues to talk to. And benches made for sitting give strangers a shared existence, if only for a minute. And those conversations you get in by sitting alone on benches may have never happened had you not been there by yourself. Society is afraid of alone, though. Like lonely hearts are wasting away in basements. Like people must have problems if, after a while, nobody is dating them. But alone is a freedom that breathes easy and weightless, and lonely is healing if you make it. You could stand swathed by groups and mobs or hold hands with your partner. Look both further and farther in the endless quest for company. But no one's in your head. And by the time you translate your thoughts, some essence of them may be lost, or perhaps it is just kept. Perhaps in the interest of loving oneself. Perhaps all those sappy slogans from preschool over to high school's groaning were tokens for holding the lonely at bay. Because if you're happy in your head, then solitude is blessed and alone is okay. It's okay if no one believes like you. All experience is unique. No one has the same synapses, can't think like you, for this be relieved. Keeps life interesting, life's magic things in reach. And it doesn't mean that you're not connected or that community is not present. Just take the experience you get from being one person in one head and feel the effects of it. Take silence and respect it. If you have an art that needs a practice, stop neglecting it. If your family doesn't get you or a religious sect is not meant for you, don't obsess about it. You could be, in an instant, surrounded if you need it. If your heart is bleeding, make the best of it. There is heat in freezing. Be a testament. Thank you very much.
Oh, Tonya, thank you for not being subtle and for opening your heart and spilling it out here for all of us to see. And we truly appreciate it. And I myself have spent a lot of time yes, please. That was gorgeous. As a solo artist, I've spent a lot of time on the road traveling by myself for about 15 years, driving my vans and driving my cars, so I can fully endorse the suggestions in the past poem here. We're on our way to an intermission, a bio break, perhaps lots more wine or beverages or food from the lovely Auburn, and thank you to Jesse and everybody for helping us out and having this venue. Before we break here, though, first of all, Brent Van Dusen, I wanted to have a round, who's vacated the drum set, but I wanted to acknowledge him and all his help with all the artists so far tonight. And I also want to have a round of applause for Dave Lyons from ABM Audio for the sound and lights tonight. Thank you so much. And of course, there is artist merchandise for sale, fabulous CDs and books just out in the foyer there where you came in. And there's also a sign-up sheet for the CISWF mailing list and a volunteer sign-up. This cannot happen without the amazing volunteers who are helping out. So maybe just one last round of applause for our volunteers. And if you want to be one of those volunteers, please go sign up. We'll have a short break and we'll be back shortly with Ian Ferrier and Robert Priest. Thank you.